What's good, Commanders fans? Just want to make a quick video here. We got some more updates on top 30 visits. Now, top 30 visits, they're not the end-all, be-all. It is just the coaches getting to know a player. So don't take too much stock in them. But, of course, we know Ron has met with Chris Olave. He's going to meet with him on today and tomorrow, which is Friday. We know he's in love with Chris Olave. Did a beeline walk to him after his pro day. And then there are reports from John Keim saying that when he did go to the pro day, when he watched some receivers, which obviously was Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, that one player ran back to the huddle, and one player did not run back to the huddle. And Ron really took note of that. So I'm assuming that wide receiver was Chris Olave. That's the reporting that was heard from John Keim. So, and we know how Ron just loves Boy Scouts. I think Chris Olave will be really, really good, of course, but I don't like when Ron kind of picks the Boy Scout over talent. And Chris Olave is very talented. I'm not going to get on a tangent here, but it kind of shows some of the thinking that he had last year with Jamin Davis, where he had a military background and he just kind of fell in love with Jamin Davis, the person, as well, and the combine numbers and whatnot, and didn't really look at the way that he should have been used as a weak side linebacker instead of a middle linebacker that Ron and Jack Del Rio thought that he could have been. So, but the whole point of it is that Ron's evaluation of players and scouting, it needs to be more on the player as their player and their skill. Of course, you want to look at their character, but if a player can play, just get them, man. This team needs more dogs and guys that are game changers. I think Olave will be good, but it's just something to point out on how Ron evaluates players. But let's get back to the point of this video. So they set up top 30 visits with more guys. Kenneth Walker was reported yesterday. Same thing with running back Breece Hall out of Ohio State. Kenneth Walker went to Michigan State. Both really, really good running backs. And this really shows that Ron Rivera does want to add a running back. He did have an interview with Julie Donaldson. She asked him what he's looking for after getting Carson Wentz and after the first wave of free agency ended. He really wants to add playmakers. He really wants to add offensive line help. So these two guys, Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall, would be playmakers to this offense. They would add a different dynamic, a different running style than, Antonio Gibson's a good running back. Fumbles the ball a little too much for me. And then there was the stat that showed that he does leave a lot out on the field. He had the most, our offensive line was really good last year. They gave him a lot of open running lanes. And then there's a stat that shows that he left a lot out on the field. Jonathan Taylor was the best, and he took advantage of the open running lanes, but it showed that there was a stat that showed Antonio Gibson did leave a lot on the field to be desired. So he's still learning. He's really good. He's a 1,000-yard rusher. So I like Antonio Gibson. I wouldn't mind just getting another running back in the 4th or 5th round, like a James Cook or a Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce out of Florida is who I really, really like at all the running backs, just the value where you could get him in like in the 3rd or 4th round. But Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall, they're beasts. And it really sounds like Ron Rivera wants to get a running back. There have been reports that he is targeting a running back to bring one in and help this roster. Now, we already have JD, of course, Antonio Gibson, Jared Patterson, John Williams. But it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to bring more talent in here. And, we do need a short yardage running back too. Antonio Gibson can do that too, but I think both these guys are more polished and have good vision. They've been running backs, forever. And I think they would be good on short yardage situations. And anyway, these guys are projected to go. Kenneth Walker, he's projected to go in the 2nd round or late 1st round. Same thing with Breece Hall. Like Breece Hall is a dog. So let's look at Kenneth Walker's numbers real quick. They both ran 4.34. Kenneth Walker ran a 4.39. He's 5'10", 210 pounds, transferred from Wake Forest. Finished this year at Michigan State, had 1,636 yards, 6 yards per carry. In 18 tubs, 13 catches, 89 yards. Didn't catch the ball a lot. Had one receiving touchdown. But this guy, he can make guys miss. He can make guys miss in a phone booth. Very shifty. Very, very shifty. He had the most yards after contact, so he's strong as crap. He forces a lot of missed tackles. He led the NCAA in forced missed tackles with 89. Had the best elusiveness rating per PFF at 147.5. And had the 2nd most rushing yards in the NCAA with 1,646. So, he would come here and definitely help this team. We would have a nasty 1-2 punch with Antonio Gibson and Kenneth Walker. The only thing is, do you want to draft a running back in the 2nd round when you already have Antonio Gibson, when you already have JD, you already have Jared Patterson? Do you want to get another running back in the 2nd round? So more notes on him. He has the elite ability to change direction, make guys miss in a phone booth. very elusive, very shifty. He's capable of catching the ball out of the backfield. Great contact balance and keeps running after the contact. There's a lot of times where he's in the backfield, he's just got to dance and make something happen. And, it looks like it's going to be a -2 or -3 yard loss. And somehow he makes it into a 12-yard gain. So that's something that I think that he does better than our running backs, where there's times where it looks like it's going to be a 5-yard loss. Kenneth Walker is just making something happen like he's Booby Miles and running for a 10, 15, 20 yards down the field when he should have been bottled up. So Kenneth Walker, I think he would be a great addition. He's strong as crap. You look at him, he's super, super chiseled. Super chiseled. So only one fumble on 276 touches in 2021 as well, which, Antonio Gibson did lead running backs in fumbles last year, 6 fumbles, but he was able to bounce back. Each time he fumbled, he did bounce back. Another note on Kenneth Walker, he scans and picks up running lanes in any direction, fast feet, quick, very elusive. So he's legit. It's between him and Breece Hall for the best running backs in this class. In my opinion, I think Breece Hall is just a little bit better, not by much. I think Kenneth Walker is more elusive and more shifty and can make guys miss, but Breece Hall, he's tough to bring down too. He's a big fella as well, 6'1", 220 pounds. He had a 40-inch vertical, and he ran a 4.39 40-yard dash. Yeah, he ran a 4.39. Kenneth Walker ran a 4.38, but Breece Hall ran a 4.39. He's compared to Jonathan Taylor, which you see, Carson Wentz had Jonathan Taylor, and, Jonathan Taylor went crazy last year. He had 15-plus yard runs last year. He had at least one rushing touchdown in 24 consecutive games for Iowa State. Last year, he had 253 carries for 1,472 yards and 20 touchdowns. The year before that, in 2020, he had 21 touchdowns, 1,572 yards on the ground as well. And he can catch 302 yards receiving in 2021, 36 catches, 3 tubs. So he's a dog. So they would help. Any of those running backs would certainly help for sure day one. And they're both capable of being number one running backs. They're both capable of being bell cow running backs. Breece Hall is more of a 3-down back, though, because he's able to catch out of the backfield, and he's a better pass protector. Not by much, but he's a better pass protector than Kenneth Walker at this point. Was the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year twice, 12 rushes of 30 yards or more. So, he's legit. 10-plus broken tackles in 3 straight games at one point at Iowa State. So he's legit 5.8 yards per carry. So I wouldn't mind getting either of those guys. Now, there was a trade back scenario. Shout out to Key himself. Now, I would not. It's tough. Like I said, I probably most likely would not get him in the second round, because you look at our picks. We have pick 11, pick 47 in the second round. We don't have a 3rd round pick. We don't have a 5th round pick. We have a 6th and 2 7ths. So do you want to use that 2nd round pick on a running back is the question. I know these guys have elite talent, but you can get a good running back in the 4th round. You can get a James Cook in the 4th. You can get Dameon Pierce possibly in the 4th. There's so many other running backs. Kyron Williams out of Notre Dame. I know a lot of people like him. You can get somebody like that in the 4th round. There's just so many other guys that you can get in the later rounds at the running back position. So, but shout out to Key himself. He said there's some rumor with the Bengals. I have not heard this at all, but he did say that we could possibly trade with the Bengals. They have the 31st pick. They would get our 11th pick, and we would get their 31st pick, the 95th pick, the 173rd pick, and their 2023 first round pick. So next year's first. So we would have 2 more picks, and maybe you could use one of those picks on Kenneth Walker or one of those picks on Breece Hall, that 2nd round pick. You possibly could use that on one of those guys. And then there's also a rumor going around, or just a hypothetical, to trade back with the Packers, because they're looking for a wide receiver. You could trade pick 11 for 22 and 28. And there's a lot of reports saying that Breece Hall could go at pick 28, because he is the number 1 running back. It's between him and Kenneth Walker. So it's just something to think about. If we do trade back, then that's where you could get Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall. But you're not going to get them at 11. And it's kind of tough to really get them at 47 unless Ron really, really does fall in love with one of these guys. So, but looking at the other top 30 visits that we do have, shout out to my guy Pedro. Jaquan Brisker out of Penn State is a safety that we're going to meet with on Thursday and Friday. So keep a lookout for him. Solid safety out of Penn State. And then we got a lot of offensive tackles coming in. Abe Lucas out of Washington State. Luke Godik out of Central Michigan. And then also another guard, Spencer Ford, out of Texas, San Antonio, University of Texas, San Antonio. So you guys let me know what you guys think about some of these running backs. Should the Washington Commanders get a running back in the 2nd round, or should they try to trade back and accumulate more picks. I'm leaning towards just get the best player available at 11. A lot of reports saying that Kyle Hamilton may drop to pick 11. Personally, I don't want to get defense again. I'd rather get offense and just add some more skill players and some more playmakers, because I think it's time to invest in this offense. I know Kyle Hamilton is a great safety. He's going to play that Buffalo nickel role, which is what Washington is looking for. They're looking for a Landon Collins replacement, which Kyle Hamilton can certainly do that. But I do think it's time for our offense to get some love and get a heartbeat and get a pulse. Get a pulse on the other side of Terry McLaurin instead of having J.D. McKissick being our second leading receiver with like 300 or 400 something yards. It's time. I know Curtis Samuel's coming back. De'Ami can develop, but I do think we need a blue chip wide receiver to help out Carson Wentz and to help out Terry McLaurin as well. All right, you guys. Hell to the Commanders. Peace.